the same, I can feel no pain. I hate everything, I hate everything. We are not the same, I can feel no pain.
I wake up in the morning feeling like I'm John D. Got my black magic book and draw a circle round me. Bitch, I wake up in the morning feeling like I'm not me.
Hey, what's up? We're currently gonna drive to a place in Clearfield. It's a town away from me, for the plate in the trunk that's going to be holding the return and the vent line. And I also have measurements taken for the fuel pump bracket I'm going to make. So we got some measurements here to take to a place called TD Fab. They do fab work, metalworking, welding, anything. So I just go there for all my metal and have them cut it for me, so it's nice and clean cut. So yeah, we're gonna run there and get that metal for this stuff. Whenever I get the metal, I will be right back. So we're back here at the shop. I'm currently trying to get this X5 out of here. I had to do a few things to it, which involved replacing the hood latch cable. This runs down to the latch down here. Then the other side runs over to the other latch. There's a nice little junction block in here. It's down there. So you get the whole new cable. It branches off into two pieces. I was bleeding the coolant system, so I had this rag on here. Bleeding it because I had to also replace the heater control valve, which is this piece right here. They need to be replaced. We also replaced the Vanos filter / check valves. They are pretty dirty. Got those replaced. And currently looking for a windshield washer leak. I'm thinking the reservoir itself is cracked. That's why the fender well is out, because that is where it's located, up in the fender. So we also replaced the oil filter cap, oil change, because a lot of guys don't know is there's actually a built-in check valve / regulator for it. Actually helps control the Vanos too. So I'm trying to get rid of the exhaust Vanos code. The solenoids are fine, so we're going to try those two things, fresh oil, and see what it does. So yeah, once I'm done with work on this car and get this thing done, I'll show you guys the plates I got for the main project over there. So give me some time, and I'll be right back with some updates. And also, my one friend Taylor is on her way here to visit. You'll get to see her car, which is an Evo 10. I actually met her through her car. She's having problems with fuel and ignition cut and knocking. So I brought it here, diagnosed it, found a spark plug insulator cracked, got new plugs in it, and also found a boost leak, got that fixed, and it runs great. She's been dailing it ever since. It's a pretty cool car, has a fully built bottom end, it's sleeved, rods, pistons, you know, stuff like that. Still stock turbo, bigger injectors, you know, it's ready for a bigger turbo, more boost. It's a pretty cool car. You'll get to see her shortly. She's pretty cool. So one moment and get to see her car. So yeah, this is her Evo 10.
Hello.
What's up?
What you doing?
Recording. Big old wing on her. What are these wheels on this? Niche? A little dirty.
Really dirty.
Yeah, a little dirty.
Really dirty.
How was your day? Huh? So you brought me a fudge round.
I thought you, yeah.
Thank you. Well, this is Taylor, by the way. Got this car almost done. What'd you do today?
Literally nothing but clean.
I got this thing almost done, so probably in another hour or so should be back together and done.
Nice.
Hey there, we're back to work on the car again. I got my plates, both of them, custom made, and they're in the car. So far I have gotten the main plate in the trunk floor that houses the return and vent hose. That's installed and done. Turned out really good. I think you guys are really gonna love that one. I also love my fuel pump bracket that I made, utilizing the truckle canister location. Since it's gone, I was able to use the factory holes there to mount it. So I'm gonna show you that bracket real fast. So yeah, let's do that. Let's check this thing out. And here we have our fuel pump bracket with the fuel pump mounted to it. We're running a AEM 400 LPH inline fuel pump. Now, I've seen mixed reviews about these fuel pumps, but that's okay because this bracket I have here is made to hold a Bosch 44 style. They're the same size. So if this does quit on me, I'll just throw a Bosch 44 in here and maybe 2 in the future. But anyway, we have a fairly thick gauge aluminum that I've bent as a 90 down here to utilize the factory mounting spots in the body, which were already here. I had to do a couple of things. Like I had to shorten this bracket. It was too long for this. So that's been shortened and just touched up with some Sharpie. It's underneath the car. Doesn't really matter. And then we have, I also stole these off of the charcoal canister. These are wire clips. So if you guys remember in the last video, how I'm getting power to this fuel pump is by using the factory BMW wire location wire sheathing, which is right here. You see where it ends up, like I said, right to the fuel pump. So it's going to probably end up right here somewhere. Come on. And then the wire's going to come off of this and snap in here. It's going to run up, snap in here, and it's going to power our fuel pump. Now, if you're wondering where the fuel filter is for the pre, because you always want to have 2 filters for an inline fuel pump. You want to have a pre-filter and a post. The pre-filter was going to be right here in these studs in the body I mounted, but I don't want to do that now. I'm actually going to put it right here. I'll show you how I'm going to do that once I get this plate out. Okay, and here is the mounting location and points for my fuel pump and fuel pump bracket that I've made. I was able to use the OEM charcoal canister mounting bracket here. Now, BMW only has a charcoal canister mounted using 2 bolts. But what's cool is they have a 3rd thread hole already threaded down here, so I was able to use all 3, which is more rigidity for the bracket. And then I had to enlarge this hole to fit one of the studs that hold the OEM mud guard on. That's why that hole's bigger. I'm going to clean this all up and treat it so it doesn't further corrode. And the top mounting points, we have bolts actually running through the battery tray inside the car. So they run through from the inside. I added spacers behind these brackets to stiffen them because I was foreseeing them crushing under pressure. So we just have aluminum spacers behind here to stiffen this bracket. And then additional spacers to get the proper level here. So matched up with this bracket. I love keeping things symmetrical. These came with a catch can I bought years ago, these random fittings. This one happened to be threaded, so it worked out really good. I just threaded it right on. Now, unfortunately, I was not going to order another catch can just to get these fittings, so I had to use something else. These are the bushings that were on the charcoal canister. Once again, you can't really see it, but I have one behind. It's aluminum bushing to stiffen this bracket so it doesn't collapse, and then one on the outside with a crush washer to get the same size as that. And then they use locking nuts on top to mount the bracket, and then you have obviously the 3 bolts down here to hold it on there. And here we have our bracket that I showed you that was in the car. It's now out. As you can see, it's a nice, fairly thick piece of aluminum that I just bent it up, marked it, drilled all the holes and everything. Now, remember that hole that I had to enlarge underneath the car? That is to clear the head of that bolt. Now that bolt is actually a stud to hold on the OEM splash guard to cover this. And once this is back in, I'll show you what it looks like covered up. Now, since it's fairly a tight space, I kind of misjudged it. I plan on having the fuel filter right beside it like this or something. But what we're going to do instead is I just ordered a fitting to just put it directly behind the fuel pump like that. So it's going to mount up like that, and that's going to bolt underneath the car. So this is a 100 micron, actually, yeah, 100 micron fuel filter. Really nice quality. The inside of it, I'll take it apart real fast here and show you. One moment. So this filter has a serviceable cartridge, which this pops right off. It's stainless steel and washable and reusable. So that's why I put this one pre-filter. The post filter is just a paper element, but in the future, I can easily buy this and swap it out. But these weren't the cheapest, so I tried to even it out a little bit. We're looking at around 90 bucks for these fuel filters. They're really good quality. They're, I'm guessing they're all billet, aluminum. They're all sealed up with O-ring Boss style fittings. Made in the USA. It's hard to get threaded, but with one hand. But yeah, they came with a bracket and everything. So they're really nice pieces. I try not to cheap out too much on fuel system setups. So yeah, this is going to be like mounted just like that, like I showed you. It's going to be back underneath the car. Try and get the rest there. Then I'm probably going to branch a 90-degree elbow off this to our bulkhead fitting in the spare tire well. Like I said, these clips here are going to hold the power harness. So it's going to be nice and clean. So yeah, I'm going to remount this underneath the car and put the cover back on so you can see what it looks like when it's covered up. Okay, so here's the fuel pump, easy to get to, easy to service. And whenever I'm done working down here, I'm just going to, with one-handed, attempt to install this freaking splash guard. I've had it off so many damn times already. There's one stud snapped in. And then the other one's right there. Line it up. Push it a little bit. Line this one up. Stick it on. So now the fuel pump and fuel filter assembly will be nicely covered, as you see. Totally covered by the elements. So I absolutely love that feature. I was able to retain the factory cover. So it'll be nice and protected. So I'm going to pull this back down. It comes down easy enough. Bam. And then we're back to an exposed assembly. And here we have that plate I was just telling you about. It's even thicker gauge of aluminum. I was able to use the factory holes in the body for my -6 return with this bulkhead fitting. This is also a -8 bulkhead fitting, but this is for the vent. So it's mounted using pop rivets. Got 3, you can kind of see them, 3 on either side, 1, 2, 3. And then on the bottom, it has a black gasket maker just to seal off any holes. Also to dampen any vibration or possible chatter it might have. So that's silicone down with pop rivets. And then those bulkhead fittings pass through the floor. So there's threads on both sides for 2 fittings, up and bottom. So yeah, that turned out really nice, I think. I kind of want to do it black, but I kind of like it shiny like that. And what I literally just got done doing before I started filming again was getting this bracket for the fuel cell itself mounted to the, well, mocked up for mounting. I got all the bolts ready to go and be tightened. We have grade 8.8 bolts. They're an 8mm bolt, I believe. Should definitely suffice. I got 7 of those running through the body itself. The reason why these ones aren't in the same line as the rest of them is because this floor has a natural slope to it, which is cool because that will help me keep fuel at the ports. So there's a small natural incline to this floor back here. So yeah, I was able to at least get 7 bolts throughout the entire bracket. I want to take this back out and I want to get some aluminum angle iron or 90-degree pieces to get welded to reinforce this even more. Because aluminum, you know, it's naturally softer. So I can foresee having a little bit of give, although this is even thicker. This aluminum is thicker than that and the fuel pump bracket. This is a really thick piece of aluminum to hold the fuel cell. And the fuel cell, after doing the math, is 17 gallons. That's approximately 107 pounds of fuel, which honestly is not that heavy. This bracket should easily hold that, whether the car... I'm trying to build this car for worst case scenarios. If this car were to roll, that fuel cell's not going to be budging anywhere. So you always got to build things appropriately, you know, to keep things safe and everything. So yeah, let me put the fuel cell back in, and I'm going to show you what fittings I'm going to be using at the bottom and stuff and all that. So let me get this fuel cell back in here. I apologize for the mess, but as you know how project cars are, while you're amidst the work, things get cluttered. So I can't really, you know, always have it minty looking. So let me get this thrown back in. I'll show you guys how it's going to look with everything all together. Okay, with the fuel cell back in, gives you a better idea how this is going to work. So here's the fuel cell back on, just loose, just chucked in there. And then there's a plate right behind it. As you can see, these will be attached, and these will be attached right here, the vent and the... So yeah, that turned out really nice. So the fittings I'm going to be using, probably going to run these 180s down here. They'll be, because I'm going to have a Y fitting like this up underneath the car, but I had to order a different one. Because I don't like the angles. They're too far out. So I got ones that have straight doubles. It's going to work a lot better. And then branching off this is probably going to be another 90 or 180. So this is going to be underneath the fuel cell. Probably about that deep underneath it. So the 2 hoses are going to run right to it. I'm going to have a 90 or 180 branching coming back to the spare tire well here. Because I'm going to have a bulkhead fitting in it too. And then directly bolted to it is going to be the shutoff valve. So whenever I have to service the fuel pump or fuel filters, you know, clean them or replace them or whatever, I'm able to shut my fuel off right after the fuel cell. So that should be nice and easy to do. So that's what we're going to do now and everything else. Now moving back to the fuel filters, as you know, this is the pre one, right before the pump, and this is the post, after pump. Now they're actually both the same exact fuel filters, however, this one's been modified, and I'll explain here in a second. Yeah, they're literally the same exact fuel filters. This one just has the fittings in it. So this one compared to the OEM original in the car, the OEM one's a lot longer and a lot larger around diameter. So what I did was, also if you guys know, the fuel filters have like a rubber sock around it. So what I did was I slid that off first. I cut it to fit around the post one. You can see it's in between the sleeve and the filter. It's rubber sock, it's cut and stuff. And then this actual part, this metal sleeve, is actually the OEM fuel filter itself that I cut to make a sleeve. So now what I need to do is, in order to reuse the factory mounting spot, I just need to get another one of those rubber socks to slide over it so it hangs in there nicely. So yeah, long story short, once again, the fuel filter, same as this one, rubber sock using OEM sock, cut, looped, and then the fuel filter itself actually cut up to make a metal sleeve out of. So that's going to be the post filter. Also, a key note was to cut the sleeve short enough to keep this fitting removable, the top end, so I can still service the fuel filter. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, once I get the other rubber sock to slide over that, put it in there, be nice and tight, and then that'll bolt right to the bottom of the car, just like so. Bam. About right there somewhere. And then, as you know, it's factory cover right there. So yeah, that's it. And then another thing I'm doing currently is I'm cleaning up the battery tray, getting some corrosion off it, going to paint it, put it back in the car. Reason being, so I have an idea how to run my fuel pump harness. So I need this in the battery, or I'm probably going to make a battery out of cardboard at the same size, because my battery's at home charging. I really don't want to disconnect it because it hasn't been really ran or anything. So I'm just going to make, I wrote down the measurements. I'm going to make one out of cardboard so I can have an idea how it's going to be in the car, so I can effectively route all my fuel pump harness wires cleanly. So yeah, so far we got a lot of stuff done, and I'm very happy. I hope you guys enjoyed this part 2 of the fuel system setup. I'm having a lot of fun doing the work so far, so nothing really crazy difficult has popped up. I apologize for not getting much of time with Taylor on camera, but she's a little camera shy, so it's whatever. She'll warm up to it, I think. Also, my friend Zay was here, but he didn't record me much. We were cleaning his car, so yeah. Slowly but surely, we're making awesome progress on this build. The chassis prep is getting there. It's not really almost done. I'm going to guess the car will be back up and running, like I've been saying, probably mid-2021. So, still got a lot of work to do. I just feel relieved that I'm finally getting the fuel system at least started. So that's very cool. So, okay. I'm going to get back to work. That's enough talking. I will upload some more content for you guys. So stick around, stay tuned, and have yourselves a good one. See you later.